Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. So I'm in Las Vegas for CES. Check out the view I have directly across from my hotel room. This is the Galaxy Z TriFold. I've been using it for about 3 weeks now, so this is my full review. Spoiler alert, my SIM card is still in this phone. It is still my daily driver. And I think if you follow my work, you will know that means I really like this phone because I'm very fortunate and privileged and spoiled. I get to test all the latest phones, like the absolute latest ones that even a lot of mainstream tech reviewers don't have access to. Like for example, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra by Leica or the EcoMind 1. These are not phones that you will find on like a conventional mainstream tech reviewer's channel. So I get my hands on more devices than most people, and I still choose to use this guy mainly for one reason, and I think you already know, because the screen, the 10-inch OLED panel is just a complete game changer. I mean, I'm not really saying anything new. Obviously, if you have a larger screen, it is better than a smaller screen. But you know, we've never been able to have a true tablet size screen that folds up and fits into your pocket before. And just like this part alone, it's futuristic and makes me giddy and excited about mobile devices. Precisely because this type of devices fit exactly my lifestyle. Because I am a digital nomad, I'm always working on the go. I'm not someone who likes to sit at home or sit in an office all day. So for me, I do my work off my phone a lot. And particularly over the last few days at CES, this guy has come in so clutch. Because for example, CES is actually, the venue is actually super confusing. Like it's hard to find booths, and the CES map on the CES app and on the CES website is tiny. So luckily on a 10-inch screen, I was able to blow up the map so I can see the map booths a little bit easier. If I was trying to navigate through the CES venue with this phone screen, I would have been very angry and annoyed. On top of that, at CES, I have to go to a lot of different events. I have a packed schedule, you know, like one appointment after the other, and I have to keep going to new booths to check on new products. So I was being sent a lot of press releases and spec sheets. So it's very useful to have such a large screen so I can run a full spec sheet across the whole screen that I can see easily. Or if I want to compare specs, I can have two sheets, split screen mode, or like email on the left and then like a Word document on the right. Just the ability to run two apps side by side, but with each app still spanning like bigger than they would on a conventional phone screen, really helps me speed up my workflow. Again, this is not anything new. I think everybody knows that having a large screen is better, but it's just, again, having a large screen that you can take with you everywhere. It's different from having just like a 10-inch iPad, which ultimately you're not going to have with you every moment, every waking moment. Like with a phone, it is with me every waking moment. Like I take this guy to the bathroom too. I mean, it's kind of weird, but it's true. Okay, you're watching footage shot with the TriFold. I have the phone unfolded, shooting myself the main camera, but I can see myself because I'm using the outside screen. That's a preview, so this is a pretty good use case. And I wanted to add that a lot of people, you know, in case you had concerns about the hinge or durability, I've been using it 3 weeks very heavily, taking it with me everywhere. Never felt like I had to be gentle with the phone, and the hinge is still very robust, and the screen doesn't have a scratch yet. So I think durability, it's not going to be a concern. I think Samsung, you know, it's like 7 years of making foldables now, so they figured out the durability part. And also, I think some of the B-roll footage, you can see the screen, the crease is pretty prominent, and sometimes you see some black stripes on the bar. That's just because Samsung's display has a very low PWM, so certain cameras will show the bars. When you see it with your eyes, you don't really see the bars. And also the crease, I mean, you can see it if you're looking at it off angle. If you look at the screen straight up, you don't really see the crease. Like for me, it doesn't bother me. Like it's just something you have to accept with foldables. The display still looks brilliant to my eyes. So just having a large screen, completely game changer, and it's enough to convince me to keep using this phone, even though there is one aspect of the TriFold that really disappoints me. And it's not the battery life, because during my first hands-on, I actually remember I thought the battery life drained really fast. It was draining at like 10 to 15% per hour. But I guess because Samsung's software kind of learned my usage a little bit, and then on top of that, maybe because I wasn't pushing the cameras as much over the past couple of weeks as I did during the first day. Now battery life on the TriFold, it's pretty good. Like it's enough to last me a full work day. Like even during CES day when I have to get up kind of early at like 8 a.m., go to a venue and be there like 7 hours, and then afterwards still do a bunch of work. Like this guy is enough to last me until like 10 or 11 p.m. So, you know, not quite till the absolute end of the day, because the end of the day for me is usually like 1 a.m. But it's still enough to make it through like a 95% of a heavy work day. And that means on a not heavy work day, on a more average casual day, this guy is enough to go the distance. And that was something I didn't expect. Now, as for the part that actually disappoints me, is actually the camera system. I'll talk about that very soon. First, I want to take a minute to talk about today's video sponsor, LiberNovo. Okay, I'm at CES 2026 where I'm checking out the LiberNovo booth. The company's introducing the LiberNovo Omni, the world's first dynamic ergonomic chair. This chair features dynamic lumbar support, meaning the back side of the chair dynamically adapts to the curvature of your spine. So you notice the back of the chair has individual pieces that resembles the human spine. The company calls this the bionic flex fit backrest. So basically when you sit down, each piece will adapt individually to however your spine curves. And then when you lean back a little bit, there's also Omni stretch, a moving part in the lower back that can move forward or backward to support your lower back depending on the curvature of your spine or depending on how you like the comfort. So obviously when you're sitting straight up, this chair is very ergonomic. You have the proper armrest, proper headrest, and everything is adjustable. But you can also lean all the way back 160 degrees. You really have to try for yourself to experience how comfortable it is, because I could definitely take a nap on this chair on CES show floor. So when you're leaning back, the Omni stretch really comes into play, with the lower back part elevating a little bit to support my lower back to alleviate pressure. There's also a footrest that's a separate purchase, but if you have the footrest, you basically have a chair that you can fall asleep on. The company is selling this worldwide right now in North America, Europe, and in Asia. If you're interested in checking this out, check out the link in the description below. Okay, back to the camera system. So to be fair, the main camera here is actually pretty solid. It's a 200 megapixel sensor, 1/1.4 inch sensor size. So the sensor size is respectable for a foldable phone, and Samsung shutter is fast, and video stabilization with the main camera is really good, as you can see here, and dynamic range is also on point. However, I'm just not a fan of Samsung's color science. I feel like Samsung's photos still look very artificial and digital to me, a little bit too HDR-y. I've been using phones like the Xiaomi 17 Ultra or the Vivo X300 Pro, which capture photos with a vibe that feels like it was captured by a vintage real camera. It just feels a little bit more organic, deeper shadows, a little bit more contrast, a little bit more character. While photos with a Samsung just kind of look like it's like a little bit kind of middle of the road. It doesn't have like a character to the shots. Now, Samsung does provide you with a bunch of different picture profiles, like aka filters, but I don't think any of them are that great, at least not as great as the filters that I've been getting from Vivo or Xiaomi Ultra. Like if you watch Mr. Mobile's videos, he's said the same thing. That basically, for him, after testing the Chinese phones from Oppo and Xiaomi, going back to like a Google Pixel or a Samsung phone, the photos feel a little bit bland, like a little bit generic compared to the shots that a Xiaomi or Vivo will give you. But then, you know, this is all subjective. It's just personal opinion. There may be some people out there who like the Samsung color science better than the Vivo color science. I would say you're wrong, but hey, that's still an opinion. But what is completely not an opinion, like complete objective fact, is that the zoom lens here is just not good. It's a 10 megapixel camera, so it's not enough pixels, and the sensor size is tiny. It's 1/3.98 inch. That's basically a 1/4 inch sensor. That is freaking tiny, and it's just every time I shoot with the zoom lens, I'm a little bit disappointed. And again, I'm spoiled because I've been used to having the best zoom lens on the Vivo X300 Pro or the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. So jumping from that zoom lens to this guy, it's a letdown. The photos, they don't have the depth, they don't have the background compressions, and if you go beyond 3 times, like if you keep it at 3 times, the shot still looks respectable, but you go beyond 3 times, it's soft, it's noisy, not detailed. So yesterday I was walking around Venetian and I spotted Chris Paul, the NBA player. Like he was kind of far away, and I was like, oh shit, that's Chris Paul. So I wanted to film a video, and then I noticed that by the time I zoom up to like 8x or 10x, the video was grainy and just looked terrible. And I was mad that I didn't bring this phone with me, because if I had this phone, the 10x video would have looked really good. Okay, I know some of you guys are going to say I'm being unfair, comparing a foldable phone camera against a slab flagship. Well, it's just because right now I don't have another foldable phone on me to do a comparison. But trust me, I'm being honest here. If I have an Oppo Find N5 or a Xiaomi foldable or Vivo foldable, that zoom lens, it's better than the TriFold zoom lens too. Like Samsung's 10 megapixel zoom lens just needs to be improved. That is just objective fact. But if you're someone who don't take photos that much, you don't care about the cameras, then it's perfectly fine. But I'm very picky about the cameras, and every time I use this camera, I'm a little bit like annoyed that it's not better. But again, I still find myself unable to take my SIM card out of this phone and put it back into a Xiaomi or Vivo, because the screen is a game changer. Like it's not just the larger screen, it's also Samsung software is very robust and very well designed. Like the multitasking system, it's very intuitive. You can run 3 apps or even 4 apps in a grid, and everything is still perfectly readable. You can resize the windows freely, and there's also Samsung DeX. You can run Samsung DeX off a portable monitor or even on the screen now, so it's awesome. And I guess it makes sense that the software will be so good, because Samsung has been making 10-inch tablets for a long time now. And I really love little things. I mean, this may not be a Samsung thing, but a Google thing. But if you have Gmail open and you have a Word document or PDF attached, if you tap on that attachment, it opens in a separate window. Like stuff like that just makes my life easier. Or yesterday, I was calling an Uber, and sometimes Uber, you have to wait a long time for the driver to accept, and you just have to stare at the Uber screen if you're on a conventional phone. But on this phone, I was able to just move Uber to the side and open Instagram on the right. So while I was waiting on the Uber ride, I was still on Instagram answering some DMs. I was staying productive and also looking at some Instagram reels too. And that's something I can't do on a phone. And speaking of Instagram reels, you can open Instagram on portrait mode. And when you do that, you get a reel that stretches across the entire screen. I mean, there's still some pillar boxing, but otherwise, this looks great, particularly when you're looking at a very good looking reel. And also, obviously, I've been playing some games, like some PS2 emulators on here. And Marvel vs. Capcom 2 looks so good on the screen. And because it's a larger screen, even the on-screen controls doesn't really get in the way as much. So I've been gaming on this phone a lot more than I would on a conventional phone. So whether it's gaming, whether it's like texting, I can text a little bit faster too, because the keyboard is wider and you have a split keyboard. So everything that I do on a phone, I can do faster on here than I would a slab phone. And I just love that. Ultimately, though, is this phone for everybody? No, because if you're someone who lives a more conventional, structured lifestyle, like say if you are a typical American who drives to work and then you're in the office for 9 hours and then you drive back home, you don't really need a TriFold, because you can't use the TriFold when you're driving. You're not going to use it when you're at office, and when you're back home, you have your laptop or your iPad or Samsung tablet, so you don't need to have a TriFold. A TriFold is more for someone like me who doesn't drive, who's walking around, taking buses, taking trains. When you're taking like a long bus ride, like for 1 hour, you kind of want to just like read stuff on your phone or watch stuff, and having a larger screen always comes in handy. I will continue to use this as my daily driver, and then unfortunately in the meantime I will have to carry a secondary phone for the cameras, because I need a good zoom lens. So that's about it for this review of the Galaxy Z TriFold. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing to my channel. It will help me a lot. And thanks to LiberNovo for sponsoring a segment of this video. Thanks for watching.